Hey everybody, quick video update. So I put up a post. We put up clips now of my talks because we find it helps bring traffic, helps people see the talks. But often, discussions get started around the clips, and it's great in some ways and frustrating in other ways because people don't get to hear the whole talk. So you're having to have discussions about just a small 1 minute part of a 1 hour talk you've given. Yes, I give 1 hour talks, but something's come up. So usually when I tell this story about, the altar call, the Assemblies of God, when I grew up in, and come down, it's free, all that stuff, you could see the clip. I talk about, there's like kind of often a bait and switch with the free car, and they say, oh, I have a free car. For some reason this time, as pastors often do, is I added, oh, and you got to put in gas and stuff like that. But the way I usually tell the story is that here's a free car, and I, oh, okay, and then here you go, and then all you got to do is sign here and sign here and sign here, and now you just have to make the monthly payments. It's $500 a month, blah blah. And the point is it's a bait and switch. You've been told something is free, that you are accepted just the way you are, and now you have to change. That type of thing. You have to pay a price that you weren't made aware of. And as I was having a discussion with a well-intentioned, I think, evangelical person, so they start bringing up, evangelicals love to take like an analogy and just squeeze out all the juice. So he's like, then you got to get your car's tires rotated, and that's discipleship, and you got to do that, and what happened? And then another evangelical pastor was like, well, what happens if you don't put gas in the car? They completely ignore the part about that you're having to make monthly payments on the car. It seems like things never change. Anyway, it reminded me of another story that I had totally forgotten about, and that was completely true, and I think this might even explain the situation even better. When years ago, my sister didn't have a car. She was having car problems, and Benny Hinn asked her to come sing at his church. And on TV, Benny Hinn just found out my sister needed a car, so he just grabbed the keys out of his pocket and handed her these keys. It was like to this really nice Land Rover, and gave her the car. Well, the thing is the taxes on the car and the insurance on the car and just, the tags and all that stuff was more than she could pay. And she ended up having to sell the car, but because she ended up losing money. She actually lost more money than it helped. And it wasn't that he intended that. He felt like he was doing something kind and wonderful. And I think often we think we're doing these things that we've been taught over time are just the right things to do, but we don't take into consideration what it costs the other person and what they go through, and then it might actually make them into a worse situation than better. Maybe it would have been better to be like, hey, we'll get you a nice, Toyota or whatever, something like that. But, he meant well. And unfortunately, it put my sister in a bad spot financially. And, she had to get rid of the car. But that's life. I tell that story just for the fact that, remember, a lot of these discussions on 1 minute from a 1 hour talk can be a bit much, and especially when evangelicals get defensive, often they really go for it. And I just want to say, if you really want to have a conversation, please listen to my full talks if you really want to dive into it. Don't just take 1 minute of my talks and take it apart, or an analogy that I'm using. Don't leave out just one part and then use the parts that work for you. That's very frustrating. I've been doing this for 30 years, and I've not just learned from my own experience, but from working with thousands of people over the years. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, that from now on I'll leave out the regular normal care for the car, and just remind people that the car that has been given to them has not been given to them. They're having to buy the car. So they're having to pay the full price for the car, but they're told it's free. So there is the bait and switch point. it's free. It's just going to cost you everything. All I'm asking is that we just think better about that kind of stuff, and that we accept grace. I mean, the whole point is the talk is a sermon by Paul Tillich called "You Are Accepted," and you can Google it and check it out. I'll even put a link to reading it down here. We even had our friend Peter Rollins read it. He's got a wonderful Irish accent, and you can listen to it on any of our YouTube channel or on our podcast channels. Anyway, thanks a lot. There you go. Didn't think I would have to do this, but guess that's just the world we live in. Bye.